Hello, Year 1-2. Welcome to Lesson 2 of the Happiness Project. Now, if you remember, we are thinking about how to use art and how to show our feelings and who we are through art. And that's something called abstract art. So it's not about doing pretty pictures. It's about using colours and patterns and things like that. And we're going to really get into that today. I'm so excited. I hope you are too. So before we start, the things you're going to need today, you're going to need a nice big piece of paper. So when I say big, about this size, okay? And that size is A3. If you haven't quite got that big at home, that's fine. Do use what you've got at home. But if you've got a nice big piece of paper, or maybe it's a bit of cardboard from a box that you had delivered or something like that, okay? But see if you can get it nice and big if you can. You need a little bit of note paper so that you can do some little pictures and notes on the side and a pencil to do those in. And then, of course, colour, whatever colour you've got. So that might be paint. You might have paint at home. You might have pastels or chalks. You might have crayons or felt tips or just colouring pencils. Whatever it is you have at home, but as many colours as you can would be wonderful. Okay, let's make a start. So we've got two little exercises that we're going to do first. And that's going to help us think about who we really are and what makes us us, because we're all completely unique. And that means that there's nobody else like you. There's only one of you. So the artwork today is going to show you as you are, that unique, individual, wonderful person that you are. So the first part of today is I want you to follow along with me, and we're going to do our closing our eyes and do our breathing like we did last week. Now, while we're doing our 3 deep breaths, I want you to have a think about what makes you you. Okay, so what's in your heart? What is special about you? And I promise you, every single one of you is super duper special. So maybe it's that you're caring, or you're kind, or you're energetic, or you're strong, or you're friendly. Okay, maybe you're creative and you're quite arty. Maybe you're really good at music and doing tunes. Maybe it's sport. There's so many things that make you you. Think about how you are with the people around you and why your friends are your friends, okay? Because you are very special. So I want you to join me in doing our 3 deep breaths. And while you're doing your breathing, I want you just to think about those things that make you you. What is it that's in your heart? What is it that makes you you? Okay, so close your eyes. And then we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose. And then out through our mouth. And again, in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Really think about what makes you you. In through your nose. And out through your mouth. Now keep your eyes closed for a minute and think about what is it that's special about you? What makes you special? What are you good at? How are you with other people? Just think about you. Why are you so wonderful? And I promise you now, you really are wonderful. Okay, open your eyes. Now, what I'd like you to do is pause this video in a moment and just make a note of those things that you thought of. Ideally, I'd love it if you could think of 5 things. Now, you can either write those as words. So it might be happy, happy, or you can draw a little picture. Remember we did our little emojis last lesson? So our little faces that showed how we are, okay? Or if perhaps you're good at football, you could draw a foot kicking a ball, okay? So whatever it is that makes you you, whatever it is that's in your heart that's special to you, then can you put those down on your note paper now and pause the video? Okay, well done. The next part then, before we move on to the next bit, is I want you to get those colours And I want you to use those colours and join them up with those different things. So happy, if you're a happy person and that's on your list, maybe you're going to put yellows and oranges because they're very happy colours. Perhaps if you're a loving, kind, caring person, you might use pink. Okay, perhaps if it's sports, maybe it's you think of green, especially if it's something like football that's out on the grass. Okay, but link those things that make you special up with a colour. Maybe it's even a pattern. So maybe it's, so for happy it might be swirly whirly or like jazzing out or polka dotty. Okay, so it might be a pattern or a colour. Okay, can you pause the video and put those colours next to your 5 things that make you special now, please? Okay, well done. Right, the next part then. The next part that we're going to think about is not just who we are, but what makes us happy now. Now, the things that could make us happy, that could be anything that's in your life that supports you. That could be a person or a thing. Okay, it might be your favorite teddy bear. Maybe that makes you really happy. And I know my little boy he got a teddy gecko from Santa 2 years ago. And he will not go to bed without his teddy gecko. When he's sad, he gets gecko. When he's happy, he plays outside with gecko and throws him about and does all sorts of playing. He goes everywhere with my boy because that is one thing that really supports him and something that's really special to him and makes him happy, even when he's feeling sad. So it might be a thing like that. It might be a person. My mummy is very special to me, and if I'm feeling really sad, then she is the person that I would phone and I would talk to about that, and she's there to give me really big cuddles. So maybe it's one of your parents, maybe it's a teacher or a friend that really helps you and supports you. Maybe it's a thing that you do. So for me, doing artwork really helps me, whether I'm really happy and excited or if I'm really sad, then doing my artwork really helps me. Okay, so that would be on my list. So have a think. We're going to do our 3 breaths together, and while you're doing your breathing, think about what makes you happy. Okay, you ready? Close your eyes. Deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. One more, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Keep your eyes closed and think about those things that make you really happy. See if you can think of 5 different things that make you happy, that support you when you need it. Okay, open your eyes. Now what I'd like you to do in a moment is pause the video again, and I want you to put those down on your note paper. So whether it's little pictures or the words, then pop those down on the note paper and pause the video now to do that. Okay, well done. Right, we're going to do the same thing again, and we're going to grab those colours that you had, and I want you to pop those colours next to those things that you've listed, those things that make you happy and those things that support you. So grab your colours, and you can either colour them in, or you can just put a pretty pattern or the colour next to the thing that you have written or drawn. Okay, but match them up. What matches it? So let me think. What was one of the things I said about a teddy, wasn't I? Now that teddy gecko, he's got greens and blues and like yellows on it, and it's all like in an army pattern almost on him. So for my little boy, he'd probably use those greens and blues and yellows and put them all together into like a muddled pattern, and that would represent teddy gecko to him. So can you pause the video and do that now, please? Okay, well done. All right then. So now we're going to put all of that together. Yay! We are going to create a piece of artwork using those colours and patterns that you thought of. Now what I'm going to do in a moment is I'm going to swap my screen around so that you can see what I'm doing, and we're going to do this together. So what I need you to do right now is pause the video, get your big piece of paper in front of you and make sure you've got all of your colours ready. Okay. So here we go. You can see what I'm doing now. So this is my big piece of paper that I have ready. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to start with is I'm just going to grab my pencil, and what I'm going to do is draw a great big heart on my piece of paper. Okay, so sometimes you guys can find it a bit tricky to go big. So what I'd say is get your fingers first. Okay, and I want you to draw it first with your fingers, a great big heart, so you can see where you're going to be drawing those lines. And I want you to fill that paper up as much as you can all the way to the edge. So we're going to start in the middle over here, so the middle this way near the top, and we're going to do a great big curvy line all the way down to a point there. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this starting point here, and I'm going to do the same the other side, a great big curvy line and all the way back. Oh my goodness, I've got a ginormous heart. So I hope your heart is just as big. Now there's a few different ways that you can do this depending on what you've got. Okay, to show you this nice and quickly and easily, I'm going to use the pastels because they're quite quick to put on and they're really quick and easy to blend to be able to show you. But you could do this with paint. Okay, so this is some watercolors here. You might have some squeezy gloopy paint. These are some watercolor pens, or maybe you've just got felt tips. If you're using pens or pencils, okay, like these, then the best thing to do is actually maybe draw the patterns first that you're going to use, that show, that represent you, and then put the colour on after. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to do it straight to colour. So if you've got colours that are quite easy to blend, so maybe the paints or chalks or pastels like these, then you could do it the same way that I'm doing it. Okay, right. So what I'm going to do first, this heart is me. This is going to be a representation of me and what's in my heart, okay? So the first colour that I'm going to use is yellow because I really love it when I'm feeling happy, and there's lots of things like you guys in my life that make me really happy. So being here and being able to do these lessons for you and to teach you makes me feel really lucky and really happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as my background colour, and I'm going to do my whole heart in that lovely, happy, joyful colour, yellow. There we go. Now, because this is pastel, can you see it's quite dusty? Okay, so I'm just going to blend it a bit now. I'm going to be careful, try not to go outside the lines too much. Okay, but I'm going to use the dust that's on there just to blend it and get a really nice colour. All right. There we go. Now there's still a lot of dust left on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bash it off. Now I'm here in my art studio, so it's a bit easier for me, but you might need to check with your grown-up, if you're using chalky things, what the best way for you to kind of dust it off is, okay? Right, so now I've got that lovely background colour, that bright, happy yellow colour, because there's so many things in my life that make me quite happy. Okay, so I've got my children, I've got you guys, okay, and all of those things, and my artwork make me really happy. So that's my background colour. Now, those of you that I've taught, we've had a little look at the colour wheel before, and we looked at the primary colours, which are red, yellow, and blue. Okay. Now on the colour wheel, those colours that are together are called colour harmonies, and they blend really, really nicely. So what I might do is, I'm feeling quite energetic today, and a lot of things like my children give me lots and lots of energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to blend and orange, because it's a colour harmony, it's going to blend really nicely with my yellow. So I'm blending my colours. So think about you and how you feel, and those things that make you happy. What colours are they mainly? And I want you to do a lovely background colour of the things that make you happy or make you you. So if you're quite a loving person, perhaps it's a pink. Maybe you've got pinks and purples. If you're quite loving and you're quite calm and caring, maybe it's a pink. If you're quite energetic, maybe you've got yellows and oranges like me. Okay, perhaps if you like swimming, maybe you've got blue as your background. Okay, whatever it is, just fill up that background colour. Okay, now like I said, if you're using colouring pencils, colouring a whole giant heart like this in a colouring pencils is a bit tricky. So you might want to wait until we get to the end of the video and do your patterns first, and then fill your patterns up with the colouring pencils, so it doesn't take you quite as long. Now, my background is yellow and orange. Here we go. So the colours that are going to stand out and be really vibrant and strong are blues and purples, because they're contrasting colours. They're on the opposite side of my colour wheel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out a blue to start with. And I'm going to think about those things that make me, me, and those things that support me and make me happy. Okay, so I'm going to think, first of all, my husband, Mr. Regalsford, he is very supportive, okay? Now, to me, supportive would be like strong, straight lines. So I'm going to put some strong, straight lines in and on the top of my heart like this. Now I'm going to do it, I'm just going to stick to one side, I think, with my strong, straight lines. And can you see, because it's a contrasting colour, how much it is standing out? Look at that, my goodness. Now, the other things in my life that make me super happy are my bouncing doggies. Now, they're very springy, and they're called Springer Spaniels, actually. So they bounce around a lot. So what I'm going to do is do some springy swirls and put those over the top. And can you see, because this is purple, that's standing out really nicely again, because it is a contrasting colour. There we go, there's my doggies. That represents my very bouncy Springer Spaniels. Oh, and then of course, I've got my children. Oh my goodness, they make me so happy, but they're also quite chaotic and full of energy. So I'm going to bring it down to here, and I'm going to do some big, sharp lines. And this is the energy that they fill me up with. Okay. Oh my goodness, look at that. All right. Now, my boy's favourite colour is green. So my girl's is red and my boy's is green. So I'm going to put some green in here as well, just to represent them. And my littlest son, let me just dust that off because these chalks are a bit dusty. His favourite colour is pink, actually. Oh, now I haven't got a pink. I did put the red on. I might put just a little tiny bit of purple in as well then, just to add a little bit more colour. So then look, they're a little bit like, it looks a little bit like a firework. And that's actually, I see my children like that. They're a bit like a firework sometimes. All right. And then, what else makes me really happy? Well, I said that teaching you guys makes me really happy. So I'm going to get a different colour. I'm going to get this lighter green. Okay. And I'm going to put some stars in, because you guys, to me, you are all superstars. And the things that you do and how strong and brave you are really inspires me. And how hard you work and how much you try and how kind and caring you are to one another and your family. I think that you are all absolute superstars. So there you are on my heart. You fill this part of my heart up with your superstarness. There we go. Okay, so can you see my heart is really starting to fill up now? Let's bring it a little bit closer to you so that you can see. There we go. And what I do is I'll probably add a little bit more because there's more to me and more to my life as well. But just so that I don't keep you too long, because I really want you to get going on this. This is where I'm going to leave it at the moment, and then I can carry on with it in my own time. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this around so you can see me. Okay, so I would like you now you can either pause the video or you can rewind it and go back so that we can do this together again and you can do it with me. But I would like you to create your own wonderful heart that represents you. Okay, all those things that are really so special about you. And don't forget to share them. I can't wait to see them. And I can't wait to see you next week for the final part of our happiness project. Okay, take care now. Bye.